going to go ahead and call the,
You want me to let her in because it keeps booting her out?
I mean, we can mute it. Yeah, bring her in, hold mute.
okay. I'm going to call the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing of March 12th, 2026 to order. I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes from the February 12th, 2026 hearing, and I have executed those. The cases that are in compliance at this time, it's my understanding that this case, you're going to present it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Chris Smith, or did you want to do?
Yeah, let me swear you in. And any county witnesses that will be presenting testimony, I will go ahead and swear you in as well. If you'll please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Chris Smith, this is Code Enforcement for Seminole County. Case number 24-74 CESM for John Pierre at 666 Encino Way, Altamont Springs, Commission District 3, parcel ID 21-21-29-501-0000-0400. The violation was for unpermitted construction without required permits. The case was originally heard by the special magistrate on January 9, 2025, and an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of May 7, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for May 8, 2025. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector for reinspection on May 8, 2025. On May 8, 2025, an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of June 11, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for June 12, 2025. On June 12, 2025, an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of October 8, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for October 9, 2025. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the officer after reinspection of October 8, 2025. Due to Seminole County ordinance changes, an order was issued canceling all meetings for the year of 2025 and continuing all remaining cases until the scheduled meeting on January 8, 2026. This administrative cost of the process case for the clerk, we're going to waive the costs, but on January 8th, 2026, an order was issued continuing the case to March 12th, 2026, which is today, with a compliance date scheduled remaining on October 8th, 2025. On March 11th, 2026, an affidavit of compliance was issued bringing the property into compliance. The county is requesting a order of compliance, waiving of fines and cost on this. This concludes my presentation.
Okay. I recall this case, and I recall this gentleman trying to work through the process, and which explains the multiple continuances in this case. And the county did incur costs related to the back and forth, but you're fine with the waiver of those costs because the gentleman was trying to work through the process?
Yes, ma'am. He was working with the county throughout the whole time.
Okay. Then I will vacate.
I don't hear anything.
I will vacate my compliance date of October 8th, 2025, and we will construct an order that establishes that he is in compliance and that there are no fines or costs associated with this matter. Thank you. That brings us to new cases, and it's my understanding we have someone on the phone. Which case is that?
That's number
25-360.
Number 3.
Okay, then let's go ahead and hear that one first.
Can she hear?
Is she walking?
Hello?
Can you hear?
I can hear now. I'm just hearing sound for the first time.
Okay, that was a different case we were presenting. That we're going to start with your case right now.
Okay, great.
Seminole County Code Enforcement Officer Shannon Hinson in case number 25-360. Respondents' names Laura Williams, ENH Life Estate, and Shelley Williams, ENH Life Estate. Parcel number 01-21-29-5CK 590A0000. Address is 515 Oliver Avenue in Altamont Springs, unincorporated Seminole County. There's no homestead on this property. The violation is Seminole County Code, Chapter 30.5.2, description of violation, transient parking of recreational vehicles and campers.
Okay, Officer Hinson, let me stop you 1 second. Is she able to see what you're putting up?
Ms. Williams, can you see the presentation? Or now she's probably...
No, I can only see the person that's speaking. Okay, now, yes, I can see.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
What she just
Thank you.
went over was all the items you see on the screen, just showing the property and what the property is and the violation at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, please.
The inspector's name, Shannon Hinson. The initial inspection was October 15th, 2025. Notice mailed to the respondent was October 15th, 2025. That was actually a door hanger. And then the other notice was mailed October 31st, 2025, with compliance dates of October 31st, 2025, and December 7th, 2025. Follow-up inspections was October 31st, 2025, November 7th, 2025, January 6th, 2026, January 30th, 2026, and then yesterday, March 11th, 2026. The violation remains still on the property. This violation is Seminole County Chapter 30.5.2, transient parking of recreational vehicles, campers. This is a copy of the compliance schedule. You see the first one is the transient parking, the second one, use table. It's living in a recreational vehicle, it's not permitted. And this is a copy of the property record from property appraiser. This is a copy of the current deeds that are on the property. The following photographs you're about to see are true and accurate to what the officer observed and on the dates noted. By the way, this is a limited use permit. I forgot to put this in there sooner. And it shows that the limited permit, use permit was expired in September. It was issued for the hurricane, for the FEMA trailer, but it has expired since 2025. And this is the property that you can see the survey that the county did for where the trailer's supposed to be, but actually how it's hanging out past the property line onto the right-of-way. It's still like the property, but it still needs to be moved back some to be in the property. This is when the first door hanger was hung, October 15th, 2025. You can see that the RV is on the right-of-way. And this is a picture of the RV on the right-of-way and another door hanger. And then a notice was also mailed that day, October 31st, 2025. And this is the right-of-way and another door hanger. No, that was the last one, because they're still both October 31st, 2025. And this one was from January 30th, 2025, when I posted the notice of hearing. And you can see the trailer is still in the same position. And this is another picture of it. You can see the walkway going up to it, so it looks very permanent. The slides are still open, and you can see that there's plumbing that is still connected to the RV, so it's not just sitting there. It looks as though it's in use. And this is from yesterday. The violation still remains. You see the plumbing still hooked up, the walkway still there, and you can see that it's still in the right-of-way. This is also some of the permits that were pulled. You can see the electrical permit for the FEMA trailer pulled in 2023, and it was voided.
It was voided? What does that mean as opposed to expired? Is that the same thing?
I believe it's because they didn't follow through finishing the permit.
Okay.
So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25360, it's determined that the respondent Laura Williams E&H Life Estate, and Shelley Williams, E&H Life Estate, the record owner of property located at 515 Oliver Avenue, Altamont Springs in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, is in possession or control of the property and is in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 30.5.2. At this time, I'd like to submit this digital case file as into evidence.
Ma'am, do you have any objection to the electronic case file being submitted into evidence?
Your Honor, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Wait a second. Wait a second. The county has not finalized its process yet. It's still in the middle of its case. I just ask if you have any objection to the electronic case file that you have seen presented being submitted into the record.
Yes, I do, because all of it is not correct. Yes. Yes, I have an objection, yes.
Okay, you're going to be given an opportunity to provide your case and any evidence or witnesses that you have related to this matter, and you'll be given the opportunity to present those to me as well, just like the county. So I am going to accept the county's file into the record as evidence, just as I will accept anything that you provide into evidence as well. Thank you.
It is recommended Laura Williams, E&H Life Estate, and Shelley Williams, E&H Life Estate is recommended is to comply with code section cited within 15 days or a fine of $200 per day thereafter. The respondent shall achieve compliance and contact me if there's the verification of compliance. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, ma'am, now it will be your opportunity to provide any evidence or testimony that you have, but I need to swear you in before you provide any testimony. Do you have anyone other than yourself that will be providing testimony?
No, Your Honor, it's just me.
Okay.
On behalf of my parents.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, I do, I swear.
Thank you. Okay,
Go ahead.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor, for giving me this opportunity. I want to start by saying we first received a notice back in October from the county to make 5 corrections to the property. The first one was the lawn. We corrected that. The second one was remove all the debris from the porch. We did that as well. They asked us to remove all the cars from the lawn onto the driveway, which we did that as well. They asked us to move the trailer back 5 feet from where it is located. Your Honor, we did not place the trailer there. The trailer was placed by approval of Seminole County. Seminole County also asked me to pay. I paid for a survey, nearly $800, and I provided that survey to the county, which is what they requested. I did everything they asked me to do. However, they are now asking me to move a 40-foot trailer 5 feet as a result of their placement onto the property. Your Honor, my parents are 87 and 92 years old. They only live on Social Security. They don't have any extra income. I have tried to reach out and get companies. I tried to comply with moving it 5 feet. It is overly excessive. Again, I did not place the trailer there. The county made me pay for the permit, for the survey, and the county placed it there. I didn't have anything to do with setbacks or permits. And I'm asking you to please take that in consideration, because we do not have the money, and I have tried every way possible to even try to get it moved.
Okay, let me ask some questions of the officer. So, did the county place the trailer in this location?
It was a FEMA trailer, and FEMA put it there. And did you purchase the trailer then from FEMA? Or,
No, ma'am, we did not.
okay, they just give it to you?
Oh, you're talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
be quiet.
Yeah.
No, Did FEMA give you the trailer?
FEMA gave my parents the trailer about 2.5 years, about 2 years, maybe almost 2 years after it was placed there. I am aware about the limited permit, and I even reached out to Ms. Shannon and the other code enforcement person asking for an extension because the house was not done at the time, and they told me my parents would not qualify. FEMA did grant my parents the trailer, but again, my parents never placed it there, and I did everything as far as the surveys, provided the surveys, and now they want me to move it 5 feet where they approved the placement.
Well, I don't know if they're asking you to move it back 5 feet or remove it altogether, but we'll get there. But the county, I think I need you to understand, though, that the county did not place the trailer for you. It was FEMA who gave you the trailer. FEMA is who placed the trailer, not the county.
The county approved it based on the survey they asked me to get with all the setbacks.
Okay.
You got it? They didn't.
Chris Smith, Code Enforcement Supervisor. The use permit, limited use permit that you have in the file from 2022, September to 2025, they gave them a limited use permit, exactly like she said, where the survey said over the right-of-way, they allowed all that. Once it expires, she would have to get a new permit or move it back 5 feet, nobody can live in it. So, but the problem is it can't get another limited use permit because
There's no construction.
yeah, there's no construction on the house for 2.5, however many years it's been going on, nothing has been done. I mean, some stuff has been done, which she said, but her mom is still living in there temporarily sometimes in the RV while something happens to the house, but it can't happen anymore because the limited use permit expired September of 2025.
And are there any active permits on the property?
No. The active permits, only the ones that were voided for electrical, there's nothing to do with the limited use permit.
Okay, so this is, I don't know if you heard all of that. Did you hear all of the conversation just now from the county, the testimony?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, so it's a lot more than just moving it 5 feet back. You can't move it, you can't have it there because you can't get another permit and no one can be living in it. And you can't get another permit because there's no work being done on the house. The FEMA trailer is related to the disaster and work that needs to be done related to the disaster. The time period is done, and so the trailer needs to come out of there. It cannot be there at all.
What they told me was to move it back 5 feet. There is work still being done on the house. However, my parents live in the house. They're not living in the trailer. They're physically in the house. They just don't have a kitchen. They're living in the home and work is still being done. And they requested 5 feet.
Ma'am,
Push it back 5 feet.
work should not be being done because there are no permits. I mean,
And there's no CO, which is a certificate of occupancy on the house, which means it's not safe. That's why the FEMA trailer's there, so they can fix the stuff that was a problem in the house. So nobody should be living in it until either current permits and repairs have been done. Then there's a
What's
lot
the
of stuff
CO?
that, caveats to it. But the RV on this property can be on the property. Nobody can live on it, and it has to be within the property lines. It can be on that property. But the problem is, her way her property's laid out, there's a pond in the back. She doesn't have any avenue to turn it unless it's just sitting dead center in the front yard or on a side where the ground is not level. I mean, she knows the property better. We've been out there a few times, but there's very limited area. The reason why we said 5 feet, it would push up against the house. That's not where she wants it. It can be on the property, within the property lines, but it can't be hooked up to the plumbing, hooked up to everything, which shows somebody's living in it. And then when you go there at night, there's trash bag out front of it with the light on and the AC running. There's things that show somebody's living in it. And then we have a citizen keep calling the complainant about living in that area and seeing this every time he goes by.
so if there was an active permit on the property for work being done, could the trailer permit, the limited use permit be extended?
Not at this time. John Martin, Manager of Code Enforcement. There's a couple of different caveats involving this situation. The trailer is technically under manufacturer origin, what is known as a recreational vehicle. In its current state, it is tied down to the ground, and it has plumbing and electrical attached to it, as well as sewer disposition. So in its current state, it would require a limited use permit to remain on the property, which it cannot have any longer. There was one and done with these. There were many placed in the county after the hurricane. All but this one are gone. FEMA did not want this one. They did not come back to get it. They basically left it in the hands of this lady and her family, fortunately, because it's been an asset to them for a period of time. Our issue is if they wanted to keep a recreational vehicle, one that's not tied down to the earth, not plumbed to the electric, not into the septic tank, and no electric, they would be able to keep the RV on some part of that property.
It could be parked there.
It could be parked there unoccupied,
And
absolutely.
it doesn't have to be inside an enclosed structure or anything?
No,
It
no.
can just
The
be
code-
parked
The
there?
code does currently allow for recreational vehicles to be on properties,
Okay.
unoccupied. So that's the burden that we have right now, is that in order for her to be able to keep the trailer as a possession, disconnect it from the ground, remove all the plumbing, electrical, sewer, and move it off the right-of-way onto her property, or option B, remove it completely from the property, sell it, give it away, junk it, I don't know, get rid of it, or that's it. But no one can continue to reside in that recreational vehicle on that property.
Are any permits needed to disconnect it at all?
There are no permits necessary to disconnect it because there's a box that it's plugged into. There's plumbing that can be turned off. There's a septic tank that the tube can be pulled out of the tank and the lid put back on it. It's not going to require a permit to disconnect that thing from anything at this point.
When did the house that they're living in part of the time lose its CO? It had to have had one at one time.
Once it was declared unsafe because of the hurricane damage, it was instructed to be rebuilt under permit with a passing final inspection and obtain a certificate of occupancy. The power was disconnected, et cetera.
So it has no power right now?
It shouldn't, but if it does, that's news to me.
Okay.
And it's going to require further investigation, obviously, but the house they don't have the finances to fix the house currently. They've been trying little bits and parts at a time. They've done a lot of work to the structure on their own. She is 100% correct. There were 5 violations initially. She did bring everything but this into compliance. She is doing the absolute very best she can while taking care of 2 elderly citizens. We acknowledge that, and we're trying to work with her as much as we can, but we're at an impasse because they're living in it, and they can't be.
Ma'am, have you heard all of that testimony?
Yes, Your Honor, I just want to make it short in replying.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what a CO is, number one. Number two, the house was never declared unsafe, never. Number three, in reference to us having the finances, my parents do not. I am the one that assists my parents financially. So that is not truthful also. As far as disconnecting plumbing, that's something I can do. As far as disconnecting electric, that's something I can do. My parents do not live in that mobile home. They live upstairs. There's an upstairs and there's a downstairs. They are upstairs. They do not live in the trailer. As far as moving the trailer back the 5 feet that they requested, that's where the problem come in. I can do everything. I can unplug all of that stuff. The house was never declared unsafe, never at any time. It just was repairs that needed to be fixed. So my mom lives inside the house. So the only burden that comes upon my family is trying to get these tie downs and getting this thing pushed back 5 feet, which again, I provided a survey. I paid for a survey. I don't know how that burden becomes my total problem or my parents' problem when they did what they did as far as what was requested and placing it there. That's the only thing I'm asking for help with.
Okay,
and
so
I've
let me-
asked Shannon
So let me explain to you so you understand. Yes, you paid for the survey. Yes, the trailer was permitted to be in the right-of-way while the permit was active. The permit is expired, and the permit cannot be reactivated. So that's why it's no longer allowed to be in the right-of-way. So it was
understand.
properly placed fine where it was, but it cannot be there any longer. Is there electric in the home that your parents are living in?
My parents have plumbing and electric and AC. There's 2 units in that property, a downstairs AC and a separate upstairs. My mom lives upstairs. I'm there every single day. They do not. The reason why he sees garbage is it's the garbage from being inside of the house.
Where does your dad
They do not
live?
live in the trailer.
Where-
My dad is in rehab right now. He's in a rehab facility getting rehab.
Okay. Okay. So,
So I will do everything as far as those. That's nothing. I can call a plumber out there and disconnect the plumbing. It could be, all that can be done. It's just the 5 feet. And I've asked them, how can they help me, if they could help? Because that's the hard part. That's the only thing I'm asking for help with.
ma'am, have you considered selling the trailer so that you can do the repairs to the home that need to be done?
Everything has been repaired except for the downstairs. It doesn't have a kitchen. I am
Okay, that's
working
a
with the
problem.
insurance.
That's a problem, because a house needs to have a kitchen. So, have you considered selling the trailer so that you could make the repairs on the house? Because one of the first things you said was that you couldn't afford to make the repairs.
No, I never said that. I have money for repairs. I said I couldn't afford to move that trailer. My parents have a kitchen. We have a microwave. We have an oven. All of that stuff is upstairs.
Oh.
That's how they've been living upstairs.
Okay.
And the insurance has the money, Your Honor. The insurance, the mortgage company has the money to put the kitchen in place. They actually physically have the money from the insurance company.
Okay, so why
We're just
hasn't?
waiting for them to release.
Okay, so you're waiting, okay, it's been 2 years though, and it's now expired and we're into the 3rd year, so it
The
needs.
2 years hasn't been since they had the money for the kitchen. Getting the first initial work on our home took probably almost a year. So the mortgage company physically have the money. They're just waiting to release it.
Okay, so there
And I can
have
show
to be.
you proof of that.
There will have to be permits, but still, the trailer cannot stay where it is. So
I understand.
you have to find a way to be able to move it onto the property, or you need to take it off the property. If you don't want to sell it, you need to take it somewhere else where it can be legally stored. But it cannot remain where it is in the right-of-way. And it cannot be lived in. It cannot have electric attached to it, plumbing, or be grounded. So I can give you a period of time to come into compliance, but I need you to understand what compliance means. It doesn't mean helping you by allowing it to stay there. It has to
I
go.
understand.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Also, there's a ramp, and if it moves back, then that's going to be like part of attachment. That's like permanent, so it can't be there. It would probably be there forever, so that would need to be removed so they can push it back, because that comes almost to the right of way. And I think that's part of the hindrance of them moving it, is because that porch matches up perfectly with the 2 doors. And so, it's hard for
That
them to
can
think
be
about
moved.
moving it back, I'm sure, because of the deck there. But then that would be more like unpermitted, or it could turn into rubbish.
Okay. So, again, the permanent, the things about the trailer that are making it as though it's being lived in or utilized for living space are part of the violation here. So how much time do you think it will take you, and I'm talking reasonableness, to get this moved out of the right-of-way, either onto your property safely or moved somewhere else entirely where it can be legally stored?
I'll try to do it as soon as possible. And I know you're asking for a time. I know for sure I can get all of the plumbing, the electric, the ramp, all of that. The ramp is not attached to the trailer. It won't be rubbish when we break it down. Can we please start with that and let me work on that? And then in the process at the same time, work on getting it moved?
Yes, and we would actually encourage you to do the things that you could do immediately to show that it's not being lived in. Is there any kind of permit that would be needed for the ramp removal, or can that just be removed?
It's not attached to the trailer.
It was already permitted on a limited use permit.
Right, but does it need
No
a,
longer there, it's just she already had a permit. So
it doesn't need like a demo permit or anything like that? Okay. Okay, so the county has asked
Do my
for,
best to.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to do my best within, I teach high school, I'm sorry. I teach high school. I'm actually at work doing this. We go on spring break starting on Monday. So that gives me like a full week to commit to doing any and everything possible with the trailer. So with next week, I could say I can do my best within that whole week of being off, getting everything be removed or detached so that you can see we're making an honest effort to get the trailer moved.
Okay. And the county has asked for 15 days, and I want you to know that that's probably kind of a last resort on their part. They probably asked for that because they're trying to get you to the table to get some movement.
Madam Magistrate, if I
Right.
may, again, John Martin, Manager, Code Enforcement. If I could amend our recommendation, the county would request 60 days for to gain compliance or a fine of $50 for each day thereafter.
Okay.
I think that can appease everyone at this point.
Okay, so that is fantastic, because I think that would, I think that the testimony that you have provided us is very genuine, and I do believe that you are trying to come into compliance, so I think that giving you that additional time is so that you have enough time through that entire period to work through this and to find someone to help you to figure out what you do in fact need to do. And so what I will do is ask that you bring the property into compliance by May 13th. And that is one day prior to our hearing, so then we will have a hearing on May 14th to determine whether you have achieved compliance, and you will receive an order that indicates all of this information. And if you do not come into compliance by May 13th, then I will impose a fine of $100 a day.
He said 50.
He did say 50, but I want you to know that I'm serious, okay? And if you don't do anything, then the fine will go into effect. But if you do stuff that you need to do, and you're working toward this, then that fine's never going to go into effect. But I need you to know that I'm serious because of the fact that, and the only reason is because the county tried to contact you and tried to work with you multiple times. I know that you did do some of the work, but with the trailer, there were still people going in and out of it, and living in it and using it, and that's not appropriate. So $100 a day if you don't come into compliance by May 13th. And we'll be back here on May 14th. You don't have to be here if you're in compliance.
Can we please not do $100? I'm going to do my best. Can we please not do $100?
It's
We
not,
do what they requested.
it's not imposed at this time. What it is if you don't comply by May 14th, that would be the fine. You're not being fined any amount right now, okay? But if you don't comply,
Are they able to help me, Your Honor? with maybe some information, some resources?
Absolutely.
Or something to help?
Absolutely.
Can I
We
make that request?
absolutely can get that information to you, 100%. And
Thank you.
I think that there are groups that can help move back the trailer or find a place for it that you could store it legally if it can't remain on the property because it can't fit. But I think once you remove that ramp and maybe pull the expanders in, you might be able to get it back onto the property to where it will fit. But I need you to know the seriousness of this. And it's not just, and I do feel for you. I feel that I do know that you're taking care of your elderly parents, and I appreciate that. But we also have to be mindful of the neighbors around, and the county is receiving complaints. So that's the other thing. I do want you to know that I could go as high as $250, but I'm not doing that. I'm at 100, but if you do what the county has asked you to do, you're not going to see the first fine imposed against the property, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, then we will, that is my order, and we will send you your order in the mail. If you will give me your name and spelling of it so that I can make sure that I have it appropriate in the record.
Sure. My first name is Shawanda. Let me spell it. S-H-A-W-A-N-D-A, Shawanda. Last name, Williams, like my parents.
Okay.
W-I-L-L-I-A-M-S -- Johnson.
Okay.
So it's Shawanda Williams Johnson.
Okay, and do you have the remainder estate in the life estate on the property?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Well, then we will get the order entered today, and we will get a copy to you, and if you would please remain in contact with the officer, contact Shannon whenever you have any questions, and we will try to get some resources to you as well that you can contact for help.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Okay, all right. Next case is 2555 Michelle Maddock, 1104 Amanda K. Circle.
Seminole County Code Enforcement Officer Christian Castaneda, case number 2555, respondent Maddock Michelle L., parcel ID 20193050000460, address 1104 Amanda K. Circle, Sanford, Florida 32771, located in unincorporated Seminole County, Florida, not homesteaded. Violation cited, Seminole Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, unpermitted construction, and 301419 fences. Description of violation, unpermitted construction of back porch and unpermitted fence erected. Background on the case, this was initially from the Sheriff's Office, and then it was from the Building Department, Building Inspector Brad Griffin. That was on 3/7/2025, 4/15/2025, follow-up inspection violations remain, 4/8/25, mail was returned, 4/29, owner requested extension, 4/30, property posted, notice of hearing mailed, and on 5/16/25, violations remain. Case summary, the original building inspector initiated the case, Brad Griffin, and then initial inspection from him was 3/7/2025, 3/26/2025, and notice to respondent was 3/26/2025. Compliance date initially was 3/21/2025. Follow-up inspections, 4/15/2025, 4/30/2025, and then 5/16/2025. I got the case to continue it, and my inspections was 12/11/2026, 12/18/2026. My final inspection was 3/11/2026, and all violations still remain. This was the initial notice of violation and compliance schedule from the original building inspector, and this is the following, that is my compliance schedule, also mailed with a notice of hearing with a compliance date of 3/11/2026. Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, unpermitted construction, and then 3014-19 fences. A building permit is required for any fence or wall that's erected. This is the property card showing that Maddock Michelle L. is in fact the owner, and this is, next slide is the deed, also showing the same thing. The following photographs that you're about to see is the first photos taken by the Seminole County Building Department when the violation was initiated on February 6, 2024. You can see the construction in the back there of that back porch, also the fence by the driveway, and then the fence at the rear of the home. Further inspections from the building inspector show that the violations remain. And that's an aerial view, just showing where the back porch was erected.
Is this a back porch or a fence?
It's both. So we have unpermitted construction of that back porch area right there, and the fence being erected without a permit as well.
Okay.
All right, and the following photographs that you're about to see are true and accurate to what this officer observed on the dates noted. That's the overhead right there, just showing the porch, and the porch being no porch, and then porch. Okay, and then just all the violations, the back porch remains, the fence remains, the other fence remains, and then the notice of hearing posted on 2/18/26.
And that's for today's hearing?
Correct. And then this is my final inspection. All violations remain. And this is just showing that no permits have been issued or applied for. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2555, it is determined that the respondent is Maddock Michelle L., the record owners of the property located at 1104 Amanda K. Circle, Sanford, Florida, 32771 in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser records, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, unpermitted construction, and 30.14.19 fences. At this time, I would like to submit this digital case file into evidence.
The electronic case file will be accepted into evidence.
Recommendation is to comply with code sections cited within 15 days or a fine of $150 per day thereafter. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, I am going to find that the respondent, Michelle Maddock, was properly noticed to be here today by posting on the property, and the mail was not returned. There was no evidence that the mail was returned. Do we?
No.
Okay. And I'm going to find that even though there was proper notice for her to be here today, she is not present. I'm going to find that there is, in fact, a violation on the property of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Appendix A, Section 105.1, unpermitted construction, and Section 30.14.19 fences for the unpermitted construction of a porch and a fence on the property. I'm going to order that the respondent bring the property into compliance by March 27th, or a fine in the amount of $250 a day will be imposed. And a compliance hearing will be scheduled for April 9th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is 25-471, Julio Suris Peraza.
Code Enforcement Officer Christian Castaneda, case number 25471, respondent Cerise Peraza Julio A., parcel ID 0721-30505-0B000090, address 105 Plymouth Avenue, Altamont Springs, Florida 32701. No homestead on this property, located in unincorporated Seminole County. Violation, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 1051, unpermitted construction, enclosed garage. It converted it into a room and replaced all windows without permits. Case summary. This was a complaint from the Seminole County Building Department. Inspector named Christian Castaneda. Initial inspection 11/5/2025. Notice the respondent was on 11/5 with a door hanger and a business card. 12/12/2025. Notice of violation and compliance schedule mailed. Compliance date of 10/24/2025 was my initial date. Then later issued another compliance of 2/6/2026. My follow-up inspections were 11/24/25, 12/11/25, 1/14/26, 2/20/26, and 3/11/2026. And the result is all violations remain. This is my compliance schedule mailed on November 12th, on December 12th, 2025, with the initial compliance date there. Excuse me. Seminole County Code Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 1051, unpermitted construction. To alter any or do any construction on a property, you have to obtain a permit from a building official. This is showing that Mr. Julio Suris Peraza is still the owner of the property. This is the property card, as well as the deed on the next page showing ownership as well. The following photographs you are about to see are true and accurate to what this officer has observed on the dates notated. This was on my initial inspection. You can see the construction going on. No windows over there. That window boarded up, and just a bunch of construction going on. That last picture right there on the bottom right corner is the inside of the garage, how it was converted. Follow-up inspections, violations remain. Now you can see the windows have been added, and all violations remain as well. This is notice of hearing posted on 1/16/2026. And on my final inspection, all violations do remain. They have applied for a permit on 2/9/2026 for converting the garage. However, the permit has been at a standstill and has not moved forward. I have tried to reach out to Mr. Peraza, and I have not been successful. Permit status is still in plan check. And those are just showing all the unresolved issues that remain.
The items that have been requested of him,
Correct.
is there a way to show whether how is that communicated to him? Just through this system?
They go back and forth, so they submit something, they go, they do the inspection, and then they tell them, okay, these are the issues that we have. It kind of goes back and forth, and it's stuck at his end.
Between the building department and them on E-plans.
between the building department and them on E-plans.
Okay, so he has access to this, and
Correct.
you can tell that he has participated through this system?
Correct.
Okay,
So there was a certain point where something was unresolved and requested of him, and he has not moved forward, complied, or reached out to me, and I have made several attempts to communicate with him to the phone number that was on his permit application.
okay, okay. And that notice of hearing that you posted on the 16th of January was for today's hearing?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was there any returned mail or anything on this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
All right,
And
based-
you mailed everything as well?
Correct,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25471, it is determined that the respondent is Cerise Peraza Julio A., the record owner of the property located at 105 Plymouth Avenue, Altamont Springs, Florida, 32701 in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser records, in possession or control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code 40, Appendix A, Section 1051, unpermitted construction. At this time, I would like to submit this digital and case file into evidence.
Okay, I will accept the electronic case file. I will note for the record that the clerk has indicated that the certified mail came back unsigned for, however, the regular mail did not, and the two posted the property. So I'm going to go ahead and find that the property owner was properly noticed to be here today, and he is not present. That the notice of hearing for today's hearing was posted on the property, that the electronic case file shows that the property owner and respondent is aware that he needs a permit on the property because he has started the process, however, has not followed through. I'm going to order that the property be brought into compliance by March 27th, or a fine of $250 a day will be imposed, and a compliance hearing is set for April 9th. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that is all of the regular cases that we have, and now we have the consent agenda before us.
Yes. The county would like to make a minor change to the recommendation of case number 25-35 CESM. At the bottom of the recommendation, the special magistrate issued an order for constituting a lien retroactively to August 13, 2025. We would like to change that to November 12, 2025.
Okay.
At a $250 per day as it continues to accrue until compliance.
Okay. Is there anyone present for 2535 CESM, 2548 CESM? Either of those two cases? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and accept the consent agenda with the recommendations of the county on the consent agenda. And the continued item, okay, do you want to provide the 2478 CESM?
You want me to read the whole thing, go through everything, or just the bottom?
No, so the request is just to amend the compliance date?
Yes, ma'am. So what
this
happened
item.
is the individual got everything, and the last item was the health department, and they're behind at the health department right now with giving this one letter to get this permit issued, then he's fine, he's done. And then he can pay for the permit. So we just wanted to recommend that the special magistrate issue an order extending the compliance date to April 9th, the next meeting, which should give him plenty of time to get that letter received from the health department.
Okay, and we had previously extended the compliance date to March 11th. But they've continued to work with you?
Yes.
Okay.
They were farther behind in the process, and they got all the permits completed, and it seems like random items come up, and the health department was the final item about giving a letter sent to them. As soon as they get that letter, then they issue the amount for him fees to pay, and he's ready. He came in this morning for this hearing, and we just gave him that information. 'Cause
Okay.
he's been in contact with us.
Okay, then what I'll do is I'll amend my prior order to extend the compliance date to April 8th with a compliance hearing scheduled for April 9th.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think that is the last hearing. I'm going to confirm that the next code enforcement magistrate hearing will be on April 9th, 2026. Any here in the audience? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. Hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.